Hi, it's Nell, and today I'm going to be doing a video I wanted to do for a couple months now, and that is showing you how I remove Bromeliad pups from the mother plant. So stick around, we're going to head over to my work table. Okay, so here's the Nerogelia. This is more specifically Nerogelia Genie that I'm going to be taking the pups off of. I just didn't want to use it in the intro because it wasn't quite as attractive. You would have gone, Nell, but this is what the mother plant looks like when it's dying. And there's a pup there, there's a pup there, then we'll spin it around, and there's a pup there. And they're all pretty good size. You don't want them to be really, really small when you take them off, because they have to have a little bit of a root system developed. Okay, so I have taken it out of the pot and tipped it, and of course the water in the vases in the cup, or the cup, well, whatever you prefer to call it, the urn, all drained out. So what you can do is you can either cut the mother plant off, which I'm going to do so you can see what's going on easier. Just put that over there for now. Or I know that some people leave the mother plant there. They'll remove the pup and then they'll leave the mother plant hoping there'll be another pup come. But I already have 3 pups. So that I don't need. So you want to grab the pup really firmly at the base here. And then you just pull away. It comes fairly easily, and it has a little bit of a root, and that's all it needs. Sometimes you've got to cut them away. Here it comes. Here it comes. Okay. That one has just a little bit of the root. Not too much. Okay, and for this one, I'll leave the mother plant here. Again, I'm grabbing it at the base, at the very base, really firmly. Holding on to the pup and the mother plant. Let's see. There we go. Oh, this one does not want to separate. Don't be afraid, because you're not going to hurt the pup, but you do want to get the root. Or just a little piece of the root is all you need. This one, I'm getting a good piece of the root. Okay. It's those things you do, on camera. Okay. And there we go there. And now I'm going to get rid of all this, and I'm going to pot them up. Okay, so now I'm set for the potting up in this small pot, and that's fine because bromeliads don't have a huge root system. So I won't have to repot this for a while. And what I'm using is I'm going to use about half potting soil, half orchid bark. And because bromeliads are epiphytes, it's very important that the mix drains really, really well. And the orchid bark the bark sort of mimics what they grow on, because they grow on trees in nature. So that's a good mix. And I'm going to actually put in maybe a little more potting soil, because I'm in the desert and mine grows outside. It actually spent the whole year outside and it was fine. It was growing in my garden in Santa Barbara, and I dug it out just before I left because I love this bromeliad and I wanted to take it. So it made it through the winter just fine here too, but I had it up against a house, so it was somewhat sheltered. Okay, so now I'm getting up pretty full, and you can fill it almost all the way depending on what the root situation is, because you don't want to bury it down here. You want the top of the soil to be right about there. You can push them in a little bit, but you don't want them to go down too far. It has been wildly windy all day, and I'm on my 4th video, and it's actually calming down a little bit now, but boy, I had a tough time. The challenges of filming outdoors. Okay, so I got the big one in, the biggest one in, because it had the biggest root system too. So this, I'm just going to kind of work in around here, and that's about as tall, and that's standing up just fine. I'm going to put this one right in here, and these ones that have a much smaller root system, you can just kind of press right in. Well, like this one I'm doing here only has one root, but it's okay because it's going to be fine. That's how bromeliads go. Ah! They have a little bit of a tough time standing up, so I'm going to put this in a corner of my house outside so the wind won't blow it all over. And because it's attached to the mother, it naturally has a flat side, so I'm putting the flat side toward the center. And these will grow into beautiful babies. Well, you know, they're babies now. They're going to grow into beautiful adults. Oh, stay. That's the thing. That's a little bit of a challenge, is to get them to stay. Okay, there we go. And now I'm just gonna top it off with some bark. Okay, here's my new little Neragelia planting here. This one, as I said, was growing in the garden in Santa Barbara at my house there, and it was in sun, or at least 4 hours sun. You know, I got 4 hours of sun a day, and it was fine because it's one of the ones that's a little more sun tolerant. I'm gonna put up a good amount of bark on the top, just because the bark is arid. You know, you don't have to worry about it being too heavy. It's gonna make sure it drains well, but it also is aerated too, and it's gonna give it a little protection. And bromeliads and bark go hand in hand. So there you have it. Let me clean up and do the reveal. Oops. Uh-oh. I see a root sticking up there. Get down in there, Gladys. There we go. Oh, by the way, you could have put these in 3 separate pots if you wanted to. I just chose to put them in one pot because I'm in Tucson, so in the summertime, the less I've got to water, the better, because this one is going to live outside. Okay, so I'm going to give it a good drink. Unlike the fleshy succulents and the cactus that I could keep dry for 5 to 8 days, I want to water this in well. And the water is really going through very nicely, which is what I want. I'm also going to give the foliage a nice drink because that's how they absorb a lot of the water that they get in nature through their leaves and through the cups here. I know you like goosemanias, so I just wanted to show you the pups on these. There's one over there. And it's a good size. Oops, let's see. And then there's one right there, which the top of it is here. So both of those would be large enough to remove. But I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to leave it on. I'm going to leave them on for a while because the mother plant is still pretty green. So they're just going to stay. But you can see them right there. There they are at the base. And that's where you would pull them apart from. And here is my Acmea. And this little pup right here started to appear just about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this is relatively new, but this is too small to take off. But that is what the pup looks like on this plant when it's forming. I have done lots of videos on bromeliads. I did a whole series on them actually, so I will leave some of the links to those down below, and the rest and all of them will be in the blog post that goes along with this video in case I have forgotten to say anything, or I usually go into more detail there. So if you want to head over to joyousgarden.com and you can find the post there, the link to the post that goes along with this video will also be down below.